So family, study shows race is a substantial factor in wrongful convictions. And for many black people watching this, they're going to go, yeah, and water is wet and fire is hot. But white people have to see stuff like this because us just saying it, that's not enough apparently. So let's get deeper into this story. And so that study is called the Race and Wrongful Convictions in the United States 2002. And it reviewed the cases of 3,200 innocent defendants exonerated in the U.S. since 1989 and found that black Americans are 7 times more likely than white Americans to be falsely convicted of serious crimes. This is true across all major crime categories except for white-collar crimes. And the number of people convicted of crimes who have been proved innocent has increased 70% in the past 5 years. And for certain crimes, the risk of wrongful conviction in cases where the victim was white is nearly twice that of cases where the victim was black. And in some other categories, the disparities are even worse. Like, for example, in some categories, black people are 8 times more likely to be wrongfully convicted than a white person for the exact same type of crime. And also, the risk of a wrongful conviction increases dramatically if the supposed victim of the crime is a white person as opposed to a black person. So let's say that you have a white person who says that this person did something, and it turns out that's not true. Well, that person who is being falsely convicted, usually a black person, has a higher likelihood of being wrongfully convicted versus a black person falsely accusing a white person of a crime. See, people actually investigate crimes when it's a black person accusing a white person, but when it's a black person who is a victim of an actual crime and the perpetrator is a white person, you see that not only is it not really looked into, the person who is a white victim has a higher likelihood of falsely accusing someone versus the black victim even getting someone locked away. And that shows you the real disparity. So we can only be perpetrators. We can never be victims. Do you get how that works now? And that report reveals that oftentimes it is the prosecutors and also the police and their misconduct that causes these wrongful convictions. And black people who are wrongfully convicted of a crime are likely to spend much longer times behind bars in unjust incarceration than white people. Does that spell it out for you now? We are in a state of emergency.